What's going on, baseball fans? So in this video today, I'm going to go over my picks for the manager of the year in both the American League and the National League. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Let's start off with the National League. Coming in at number 5, I have Dave Roberts. Starting off my list is the manager of the team with the best record in baseball, Dave Roberts. The Dodgers came into this season with a stacked team that currently ranks first in runs scored and has the third best bullpen overall according to wins above replacement. Where the Dodgers are a bit weaker is in the starting rotation, in which they rank 8th in the National League. However, Roberts has been able to offset the opt-out of David Price with young guys like Dustin May, Julio Urias, and Tony Gonsolin, as well as using openers from the bullpen very effectively. Overall, Roberts has done a solid job at keeping this stacked team focused on winning a World Series. Coming in at number 4, I have Brian Snitker. What a year for the Braves in 2020, and I mean that both good and bad. Let's get the bad out of the way first, and that's what the starting pitching has had to go through this year. They lost their ace, Mike Soroka. Cole Hamels has barely pitched this year, and both Sean Newcomb and Mike Foltynewicz were both sent to alternate camp. In other words, the starting pitching has been decimated, and Brian Snitker has done everything he can to keep the ship afloat. He's been able to offset the lack of starting pitching that ranks 24th in baseball with a hellacious offense that ranks 2nd in runs and a bullpen that ranks 6th in FIP. In the end, while this team isn't perfect, I think Snitker deserves some credit for finding ways to win. Coming in at number 3, I have David Ross. David Ross was entering his first year as the team's manager in a weird spot. The Cubs were coming off a downer of a 2019 season in which they fell apart down the stretch, and the Cubs were basically non-existent when it came to making moves in the offseason. However, Ross has done a great job at coming in and bringing this team together, but most importantly, has produced results. The Cubs are one of the better teams in the National League right now, and a big part of that is David Ross. Since his arrival, the Cubs starting pitching ranks 4th in baseball, led by Yu Darvish, who's having his best season so far, and the offense has been solid for the most part this season. Overall, Ross came into a question mark of a team, but by season's end, it's much less of a question mark now. At number 2, I have Jace Tingler. What a season for the Padres this year, and one guy who I think who has been overlooked this season is first-year manager Jace Tingler. One of the reasons he has been overlooked is simply the mammoth trade deadline the Padres had, in which they acquired Mike Clevinger, Trevor Rosenthal, Mitch Moreland, and Austin Nola. However, the Padres were exceeding expectations before that with a record of 21-15 heading into the trade deadline. While he has experienced some growing pains in his first year as manager, mainly due to some questionable bullpen decisions, he has done more good than not to help this team be one of the best in baseball. And my winner for manager of the year in the National League is Don Mattingly. No one, and I repeat, no one, thought the Marlins would be in the position they're in right now. While they have some younger players that are fun to watch, there wasn't a single person that said the Marlins would be in position for the playoffs. In fact, most people, including myself, picked them to be in last place. My, how the tables have turned, and a big reason for that, in my opinion, is Don Mattingly. Heading into this season, there wasn't much for him to work with offensively, but there were some bright spots. He had some young pitchers like Pablo Lopez, Sandy Alcantara, and Eliezer Hernandez in the rotation, and a lineup with no one that has double-digit home runs. With the pitching, he's been able to guide these young starting pitchers to more success than not, and with the lineup, he's been able to come up with other ways to score runs, most notably due to aggressive base running. Overall, the Marlins have been a complete surprise this year, and I think a big reason for that is Don Mattingly. Now let's move on to the American League. At number 5, I have Aaron Boone. Starting off my list is Aaron Boone, who came close to winning this award last season. A couple of weeks ago, it looked impossible for Boone to get any votes for AL Manager of the Year due to the slide the Yankees were having. However, while he has made some questionable calls this year, including some bullpen moves, benching some guys, and not having Clark Schmidt start any games, he was able to get his team back to their winning ways as their offense caught fire during a winning streak that helped turn their season around. Another reason for why I think Boone should get some credit is he's once again been able to manage injuries during another injury-riddled season in New York. However, things seem to be back on track for the Yankees, and they once again look like a real threat for the playoffs. At number 4, I have Bob Melvin. Coming in at number 4, I have the 2018 Manager of the Year, Bob Melvin. The A's have been a solid team this year with one of the better records in the American League. They have the best bullpen in the majors, they rank second in fielding, and they have the 6th best offense. The A's last year got off to a tough start, but were able to make the playoffs with a very good second half of the season. With people questioning the A's ability to get off to a good start this year, Melvin has had this team ready right from the start and in position to win the AL West for the first time since 2013. Coming in at number 3, you have Rocco Baldelli. At number 3 is last year's AL Manager of the Year, Rocco Baldelli. The Twins are once again one of the better teams in the American League, and a big reason for that is Rocco Baldelli. He does a great job at keeping this team loose, even if they're going through a rough patch. They have the 8th best offense, and their starting pitching ranks 7th. However, the big key to the Twins' success this year is the bullpen, which ranks 3rd. With some injuries in the rotation to Jake Odorizzi, Rich Hill, and Homer Bailey, he's been able to use the bullpen effectively to help compensate for that. At number 2, I have Rick Renteria. While I thought the White Sox would be a much improved team this season, I wasn't expecting them to be this good this quick. They have the 2nd best offense in all of baseball this year, along with the 6th best pitching staff. Where I really think Renteria deserves some votes for this award is how much he and his coaching staff have been able to improve this team from the year prior. In 2019, the White Sox had a pitching staff that ranked 19th and their fielding ranked 25th. But this year, their pitching is very improved and their fielding ranks 11th. Overall, while Renteria had some help from the front office with all the acquisitions they made this past offseason, he was able to lead the way in turning this team around into a winning team. And my pick for AL Manager of the Year is Kevin Cash. First off, the Rays have the 3rd lowest payroll in all of baseball, and Cash gets the best out of his team despite that. They have the 9th best offense and the 10th best pitching staff that includes the 2nd best bullpen. However, the biggest reason I think he should receive this award is how he's been able to put a winning team out there even with the amount of injuries they've gone through. This includes their closer, Nick Anderson, Charlie Morton missing a few weeks, Jalen Beeks, Chaz Rowe, Yanni Chirinos, and Andrew Kittredge being out for the season, along with G-Man Choi, Ryan Yarbrough, Mike Zunino, Cody Reed, and Yandy Diaz missing some time. Kevin Cash, to me, is the man that should win this award, mainly due to the fact that how good he is at doing patchwork on the fly. He deserves this award, hands down. So those are my picks for Manager of the Year in both the AL and the NL. Tell me what you think down below. Who are your picks for Manager of the Year? But that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.